GenerationHookah.com.
Hi, this is Scott, and today I'm showing you how to create the ultimate hole punching tool. And this is what it's going to end up looking like. What you'll do is you'll put this on your finger and you'll just, and it makes perfect tiny holes every time. Now, this is my first prototype. I'm actually going to make the second one, which is going to be a slightly thicker gauge, because what I noticed is this design worked too well. It made the holes so small that I couldn't punch enough of them to give me proper airflow. So this time, all you need is a pair of pliers and a guitar string. Now the gauge of this one is the low E string, which I believe is a .036. And all you're going to do is you're going to coil it to about that much, and it doesn't matter how much of this is hanging off because you'll just tuck it later, and then you just take it and you tuck it, and then it's started. I'm actually going to move that down a little bit so that the knot is all the way down, and you can make this any diameter you want, it doesn't really matter. And all you're going to do takes a little finagling. Come on, you little bastard. It goes like that. Okay. So that's the diameter I want it. And now all you're going to do is you're going to take the end and you're going to continue to thread it through so that it continues to coil. And it'll keep coiling and coiling and coiling. Just keep threading it through on itself. And I'm actually going to cut away to the end of the coiling so I can get to the second bit of this, so the video isn't like 10 minutes long. Alright, now we have this, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to, once it's at this point, you kind of poke it out just a little bit, and then on the next coil through, which is actually the last coil through, that was going the wrong way. On the next coil through, you actually tuck it into itself so that it doesn't move around too much, and then you just pull it tight. Now you have this. What you're going to do is you're going to take a pair of needle nose pliers, you're going to cut it, but you're going to cut it at a steep angle. What this does is this actually creates a point. It does not want to cut. Oh, it's because I'm being an idiot. There we go. So that does that create, you can't see it on the video, but it creates a angled edge, which makes it slightly sharper. What you're going to do is you're going to take the needle bit, and since this is a this is a low E string, it is actually a core wire wrapped in a thin wire. So what you want to do is you want to grab it just on the very end, and you just want to pull so that it pulls that coiled wire away. And you're just going to bend that down and do one of these. Come on. There it is. And then that comes right off. So now what you're left with is a very thin, sharp hole puncher. Now I'm going to do a comparison. I've got my broken funnel, which I just don't want to put a coal on because I think it'll just shatter. Grab some foil and I'll show you exactly how this works. Assuming this is like it wants to cut. Okay. So this is, I'll show you my prototype design right here. Now this is an empty bowl, it doesn't have any shisha in it, I'm not smoking right now. This is the original, which is the smaller D string, I believe. Now, what you would do is you would just go crazy. And what you see is it creates perfect tiny pinholes. But what I found is no matter how many of these I poke, no matter how crazy I go, I could not create sufficient enough airflow. And also, when you start poking that many holes, the foil will actually start to sag. So my design worked too well. Now, this is actually my first time testing the second one. My second prototype, which is the slightly thicker low E string. So let's give that a gander, shall we? Put on the piece of foil. Or I could rip the piece of foil, because the edge of my funnel bowl is now very sharp. So now we have this and the new one, and we're going to start poking some holes. And they're not much bigger, but I'm really hoping that they'll help improve the airflow significantly. Now this is a funnel bowl, so the fact that it does not have shisha in it will not affect this airflow test at all. And see, that's about typically what you would end up with as far as holes wise. And let's do an airflow test. It's still a little tight, but I don't really. It's very nice. I find that it will be a superior hole punching method than doing a thumbtack. Where's that thing go? The thumbtack makes the holes about twice as big as this. As you'll see, I put a thumbtack hole in the middle, and you can see how much larger it is. But that's the ultimate hole punch. It makes holes as small as you can get them, and there's no having to like try to control it, like if you're using a toothpick or even a thumbtack, where you only have to go and just barely poke the surface. You can go to town with this thing, and it won't mess it up at all. But anyway, that's how I do it. Hopefully I'll have some viewers making the ultimate hole punch tool for themselves. This is Scotty B, GenerationHookah.com. Hope this was helpful. One more thing I forgot to mention. The point to making these holes so tiny and so numerous is to, first of all, preserve the airflow, but the holes being small actually makes it so that the ash particles themselves are too big to be pulled through the holes and into your shisha, which can not exactly ruin, but definitely taint a smoke exhaustion. So it's really essential to make small holes because of this, and it will make your smoking sessions better. It'll make your smoking sessions last longer, and overall should make the experience great. Now, a lot of you already know that you need small holes. This is just a way to facilitate the process of creating smaller holes. But anyway, that's me. Adios. I'm not going to make this video any longer. Scotty B, GenerationHookah.com. Peace out.